Okay, so the project for today, I finally got the last of my crap from my in-laws' place where I was staying. We were building a house, and yeah, I kind of moved in pretty quick. I got a lot of crap. I'm kind of a pack rat. But yeah, you can see I got all my crap. I'm slowly migrating back to the house. Keeping things nice for the wife. You know, she gets her side of things. I get my side of things. But yeah, some of you will recognize that cylinder head. It was a Om603. I've got a couple videos of this thing running with that engine in it. I aired up the tire, drove it over here. It's got a slow leak, so the tire's flat again. So I think project for today, just gonna slime the tire, take it for a drive. But the other issue is my wiring for my dual fans. I got dual fans in here, big radiator, but it got so hot I was using I know I hate the daisy chain of butt connectors. I scold other people for it, but you know, when you're in a pinch, my only soldering iron was electric, and my crappy contractor stole my extension cord, so I don't even have an extension cord right now. And my soldering torch has now become a pilot torch for a flamethrower, so that's another story altogether. I'll try and do some content on some of my other stuff, but I'm trying to keep this automotive related right now. Anyways, back to the issue at hand. This was a inline bus fuse holder I used. I did have the foresight to use a fuse, and it wasn't too high of a fuse. It ain't like I just threw a 30 in here. I think it was a 15, but either way, this was supposed to be, I think, probably 3 amp for a CB radio. So I think it's just not rated for the power draw I'm using it for. It got so hot it melted the fuse almost out of the holder before the fuse ever popped, and that was a 15 amp. So I think the goal for today, also since I don't really carry those with me, I tend to carry AGC fuses, I'm going to put an inline just an AGC fuse, and I think I'm just going to go down to 10 amp, and if it pops those, then we'll go back to 15. So anyways, that's the plan for today. And also, I guess I haven't really done an update on this. This is a Om606. I've got in here, running and driving clearly. It's not complete. You can see I've got that clamped together. I need to pull this over and weld it. I didn't have a welder at the in-laws house. This is the transmission kickdown. I still haven't come up with a way to connect the Land Rover transmission kickdown to the 606, which is usually kind of a bar linkage, you know, on the Mercedes. I've got that adapted. That was the original cable end for the Land Rover, and I welded the the Heim joint kind of ball end from a Mercedes linkage onto that. That may be what I have to do with that. And then some kind of a holder like that to just connect the transmission kickdown to that. But I think the long-term goal for this, I've already got everything in place. You can see I had the foresight. I welded a turbo drain in the pan, and there's also this is a notched out pan for the front axle. It's all custom. So I'm going to build a manifold here and slap the 603 turbo on it. You see I deleted the EGR. I kind of thought it would be worth keeping this, even though I don't do EGR crap anymore. So I kept this just in case, you know, you have a runaway. You could always shut it down. I think it'd be a nice feature to have. I'll probably hook that up to like a choke cable or something inside. Not that it's the end of the world if you get a runaway. Just hop out, throw your t-shirt over the snorkel or something. But so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this engine. This is a good engine. I think it's got, I don't know what these are supposed to have, but it's got good compression. It was kind of a ordeal. I went through a wrecking yard. I had a bad engine. Luckily they honored it, and they've replaced it with this one. This one seems to be way better. So in the end, I got a better engine out of it. I don't know. I'm not really sold on these kind of press-in EGR fittings on the, or PCV fittings on these 606s. And ironically, I'd almost rather do what somebody has done there. And so I might take the intake off and drill and tap all of those fittings for barbed brass fittings. And then I'll just run like some 3/8 fuel line or something, you know, something rated for diesel. And then it ought to hold up to oil just fine, you know. And I'll leave the vent breather filter, you know, so it'll be filtered before it goes into the intake. Who knows, I might just build an oil catch can and mount it over here or something. But I'll keep updates on all this stuff. This is one of those things that does excite me. This is a really long-term project I've been doing. I mean, just probably 10 years. I mean, so it's got a 6-inch lift, FJ A.D. coils. I'm probably going to lengthen the radius arms eventually. I might go for a little more lift up front. I just built that rack. It's kind of sitting out and going to hell. I was going to put it in the garage, but another Mercedes is occupying that now. I'm going to do like a high lift jack mount, jerry can holders, you know, all that stuff, so I look the part. You know, I got a KTM 500. I made a bike carrier for that. That rear bumper I made. It's kind of ugly, but it works. I made the taillight guards. You know, it's all just kind of round tubing and, you know, nothing fancy, but probably going to eventually just do a rear diff guard, fuel tank skid plate. I've built these rock sliders. These are rock sliders I built, and they're bolted through the frame rail. So they are pretty substantial. So yeah, one thing after another. I need to get the winch fixed. It sat for so long. It's not the solenoids. Maybe somebody could help me out with that. I'm not too familiar with these Warren winches. If it's like a starter motor, maybe. I don't know. I tried smacking it. It doesn't work. So I don't know if it just needs cleaned up. It could be brushes. I don't know. It's a Warren M8000. As of right now, I haven't come up with a vacuum shutoff for one of these. It's an electronic injection pump. So as of right now, I'm just shutting off the fuel. I have to pop the hood, shut off the fuel here. We'll make sure that's open. Okay. So, if somebody could help me out with that too, that'd be nice. Let me know a vacuum shutoff would work with ignition power. That'd be nice. That'd be eventually a good long-term solution. But yeah, I mean, it works. It's just, you know, I want to get this thing done, like done. You know, everything not really just thrown together, kind of, you know, permanent. So, yeah, I'll keep everybody updated on that if I figure stuff out. And who knows, other people might be searching for this stuff and come across this and helps them out. I always appreciate input, you know. Everybody work together and come out with a better end goal. That's the idea. So, just added another gallon of oil to this thing. We're gonna move it over, try and air up that tire, and then take it for a spin. Wife's probably gonna kill me because this thing's probably gonna leak said gallon of oil all over her parking spot. Married people know the struggle. All right. Okay, we're gonna see. Well, I guess my wiring works for the fan. We're gonna see if this thing has enough juice. Oh, it used to be cruise control switch. I had to fire up. So I got an electronic lift pump. You can hear it. I wasn't counting. We'll give it a good 20 seconds or so. It's the glow plugs, by the way. She always has good oil pressure. The boost gauge is left over from the 603. Hopefully we'll be boosted soon. Let's try that. Well, that was easy. Come on, oil pressure. There we go. No joke, it's probably been, at least a month since this thing fired up. I drove it over here just to get it over here. It was orange tagged, about to get towed. But, yeah. No exhaust yet to build a manifold for the turbo. Hopefully we'll take it for a spin here. Well, we got her over here. A little bit lower than I thought. It was on rim. Just kind of putting the ooze to her. I mean, this is a nice 10-ply retreadable Michelin. So, you know, I'm not really ready to just get a new tire over a small pinhole. But yeah, we'll see if we can fix that linkage and then get this thing a little bit more road ready and get you some video of it under what little power it has on the road. This is going to be a great trail truck. Highway, not so much. So, par for the course, my compressor cord, which has already shit out once before and been replaced, is now arced out to the point it won't make contact in my wall socket. So I'm gonna cannibalize a cord end off of my old Craftsman drill, since I have cordless tools now and I haven't used this in God knows how long. But the plus side is now my Craftsman compressor will still say Craftsman on the end. Waiting for air. I really can't believe the similarities between these two. Even though one's diesel, one's gas, one's a 4-cylinder, one's a 6. They both got oil filters on the back, in the block. Cruise control units are almost the same. They both use a Vickers power steering pump. I don't know. Just some random thoughts. Welcome to another installment of Aaron has to work on everything he owns before he could use it to work on something else. Again, since someone stole my extension cord, I've got this one from the house. Small, light duty, non-grounded one. And I've modified it so that I could use a grounded 130 amp welder. Of course, it goes without saying, do not try this at home. So to keep up with the theme of let's do the shoddiest work I could possibly do that I'm embarrassed of, but then post it online, I've got this linkage now. I can't flip the camera around. Welded, and of course I ran out of shielding gas, and no, it's not flux core. It's actual ER70 wire, just with no shielding gas. And I don't know, I guess it's better than vice grips, but I can't get the wire speed figured out right. This is another, could have done a whole nother video on this. My Hobart, couldn't find anything online as to what was wrong with it. It stopped working one time, and I ended up replacing the contactor switch with one out of a HVAC unit because it was only $6. So who knows, it might not be rated for the same amperage, it might be causing fluctuation, who knows, but it works. I'm sure it'd be leaps ahead better if I just had shielding gas. But I'd say she's ready for a quick test drive and hopefully get that slime to fill up the tire. Well, I'm gonna go for a quick test drive, I suppose. Another thing worth mentioning, I guess, is so it's a 606 NA motor. I've done no modifications to the fuel system, but I'm running it on probably a 20% mixture of waste vegetable oil, because I have a brother-in-law that works at a restaurant. He gives me his stuff every Sunday. I get 5 gallons of it. So maybe that's another reason why it might be down on power. I know a lot of guys add cetane booster when they run that stuff. But I just throw it right in, but I top off the tank. So mixed with the rest of diesel, it's about a 20% mixture of waste vegetable oil. But other than that, it seems to run fine. It just, I don't know if it just saps the power through the full-time four-wheel drive of the Land Rover, but it's really in dire need of that turbo. I figured, you know, the ratings listed online between this motor and the 603, they weren't really that, you know, drastically different, so I figured I might get by with just an NA 606, but that's clearly not the case. I mean, this thing, you notice I'm going down this hill, because if I would have turned out of my driveway to go up this hill, I mean, it'd be a lot longer video. It's an M4. Here comes the hill. Deuce and a half. I don't know. Fans must be working. She's not overheating. Looks like my fans are working now. Cool. Oh yeah, so here's the shutdown procedure. Anyone unfamiliar with the OM series engines? So here's the key. Truck's off. Well, that's that. Open that up for the next time I drive it.